Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners zoning hearing of June 20th, 2024. And if I could have the roll call at this time, please.
Commissioner Barnett. Here. Commissioner Baxter.
Here.
Commissioner Bernard. Here. Vice Mayor Marino. Mayor Sachs.
Here.
Commissioner Weiss.
Here.
Commissioner Woodward. Thank you.
Commissioner Woodward and Vice Mayor Marino are on their way, but as soon as they get here, we will note that for the record. And at this time, if I could have Commissioner Barnett lead us in an opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, before we begin our business at hand, let us give voice to our sincere gratitude to the divine for allowing us to reach this day with the abundant blessing that our great community has been bestowed. Let us pray that with sacred guidance from the Almighty for our decision-making, we may continue to work for the betterment of all. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. Do we have notice? Notice been given?
Yes.
Very good. And do we have proof of publication at this time?
We do.
Very good. So I could have a motion to receive and file. And I have a second.
Second.
And the motion is all those for. Anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Sir,
Could we please restate the maker and the second for the record?
it would be Commissioner Barnett. Got it?
And the second?
Bernard.
Thank you.
Good. And we could have the swearing in, since this is a zoning hearing.
All those wishing to testify or speak on today's quasi-judicial items, please rise and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Do we have any amendments to the agenda?
Yes, we have an amendment for item number 3, PDD-CA 2021-00829 for Delray Self-Service Storage to modify Exhibit C1 to include a disclosure condition. Also on the dais, we have a letter of support from Countryside Estates dated June 18, 2024 for South Road Office, which happens to be item number 2, EAC 2024-340.
340, very good. Okay, if we could have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended. We got that, and the second by Commissioner Baxter. All those for, anybody opposed, see that it passes unanimously. And let the record reflect we do have a quorum this time. All right, so let's go right into the consent agenda as amended. Does anybody wish to pull anything from the consent agenda at this time? Very good. Then if I could have a motion to accept, I'm sorry, disclosures, yes. And we'll start with you, Commissioner Barnett. Disclosures.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no disclosures for item 1, item 2, or item 3.
All right, and now we have, Commissioner Weiss.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no disclosures on the consent agenda.
Very good. And Commissioner Bernard.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No disclosures for item 1 and 2, but for item 3, I've met with Mr. Anthony Puglisi, Mayor Stromberger, Scott Bachman, and Andre Fidel. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Baxter.
Mayor, I have no disclosures for items 1 and 2. For items number 3, I've met with Neil Schiller, Morgan Patterson, and Scott Bachman.
Very good. Are you prepared at this time? Or you want to?
I'm prepared.
Okay, very good. And if I could have, and let the record reflect the Vice Mayor is here. If I could have the Vice Mayor tell us her disclosures on the consent agenda.
I have no disclosures on the consent agenda.
Ah, very good. And the mayor's office does have a disclosure on item number 3, which is the Delray self-storage, and that's verbal communications with Scott Backman, Danae Miskel, and Backman. Anything we received and filed is already filed with the clerk. Very good. Then we are ready for the vote. If I could have a first to adopt the consent agenda by the vice mayor, a second by Commissioner Weiss. All those for, anybody opposed, see that it passes unanimously, 6-0. Let the record reflect that Commissioner Marcy Woodward and guest is with us today as well. So we're complete, all 7 of us. Very good. Let's move right on to the agenda. Just 1 second. Okay. And when you're situated, Commissioner Woodward, you can give us disclosures on the consent agenda. Do you have it right now? Oh, you didn't vote on it. Okay, so we'll just pause it. And going right on to the regular agenda. Which is found on page 4. Zoning applications and the ODC. We have our staff right here.
Yes, so item number 4 is a privately proposed amendment to the ULDC. We're calling it beachfront properties. The applicant is proposing a type 2 waiver process for applicants in specific areas that are abutting the ocean with RH zoning, have existing multifamily that's over 35 feet in height, to be able to apply for a waiver from our setback requirements in order to redevelop the property, the same number of units. Would you like a presentation from the applicant?
Well, let me listen to my colleagues.
Mayor?
Yes, Vice Mayor.
We did a good presentation on this before, and a lot of this is in District 1 on the north end of the county, and very familiar with it, and I think it's something that's very doable and very necessary. So with that, if there's no one else with comments, I'd be happy to make a motion.
Okay. Anybody else wish to opine as to whether we should have a presentation at this time?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, seeing none, we're going to proceed on to the vote. I have a first by the Vice Mayor, a second by Commissioner Bernard. All those for, anybody opposed? See that it passes unanimously, 7-0. Let the record reflect that former Attorney General Jeff Atwater is with us today. Very good to see you, General. Okay. So seamless today, isn't it?
Yes, try to make it smooth.
Okay. And
Number 5
we
is,
have a light on those. Is that?
No,
red light?
after the presentation, or we don't really need a presentation.
Well,
but-
let's just, piano.
Well, this is the Bioscience Land Overlay Board, and we as a board, we've already sunset this, and this is just the finishing up a procedure, correct?
correct.
Okay. Why don't we have staff, do you want to announce it for the record, and then we'll proceed from there?
Sure. Item number 5 is the Bioscience Research Protection Overlay Text Initiation. This is a planning item. I don't know if there's a little bit more you want to add to it.
Unless the board, it's board discretion, but as Wendy said, this will allow us to move forward. The board will be making a motion to initiate, to either delete or revise the overlay, and really end the board. So we'll have to go through in our evaluation, we'll bring it back and transmittal hearing to the board. And Twee, shut for the record, just.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tree. Do we have any questions or comments for the staff at this time? Very good. Vice Mayor Marino,
So I'm
you're
happy to make a
recognized.
motion to approve staff recommendation for this item.
And I have a second by Commissioner Weiss. All those for, anybody opposed, see that it passes unanimously, 7-0. That is the end of our regular agenda. Glad to see everybody here and see the staff here as well. So with that, Mr. Attorney, do you have any comments?
No comments.
very nicely. Planning Director?
Yes, I do have one.
Sure, go right ahead.
Quick comment. As you know, the board has directed our staff to reach out on April 25th to the city of Boynton regarding their potential annexation request. And we've had 2 meetings, with the last being last Thursday, and we provided a memo earlier this week for the board. Right now, they're looking at their research and study process. It will be a multi-phase process because they have to evaluate all the land area that potentially could be, proposed or requested. The board also, I passed out a hard copy as well, have a copy of their January 16th City Commission presentation to show in detail what the requests and the information that was provided to the public. The good thing is they're working on a website to provide a lot of information, contacts, data, hopefully an interactive map to zoom in on the specific sites, as well as updates on the study process. They ask that we refer all the questions to the city because they don't want to have misinformation, or they want to be able to have one source of distribution. We also ask that they meet with us quarterly so that we can provide you with updates.
Good.
And once we have a formal annexation package, we will make sure that we arrange a schedule to be at a board, for a board agenda item to present to the board. So right now, we have nothing official yet. We do know that, per the city staff, that the study period would take approximately 9 to 12 months, and that they don't anticipate their first public meeting until that feasibility study is done. And they're looking at two groups of properties. One is labeled A in the presentation. Those are the ones that they may have already voluntary annexation agreements with some of the properties, and those that are not. So they're really looking into all the services that the city has to provide and what it costs versus what the cost is to provide, the upgrades and improvements to accommodate that. So if there's any question, please don't hesitate to give me a call, or Chris Sheed, who's working on all the annexations in the county.
Very good. Any questions or comments by members of the board? Vice Mayor Marino, you're recognized.
Thank you. Do you know if there are any other utility providers around the county that might have this same clause in their contracts?
Usually these are in the agreements when developers first, propose a voluntary annexation, and it varies according to the city staff. Different agreements have different requirements in there, so they're in the process of doing that. But again, in the county, usually the developers, when they do seek annexation, they would have these requirements that they agree to voluntary annex in if the city can provide them the services. So it all varies, but yes, there are some throughout the county.
Okay, so I think, let me rephrase my question. There are utility providers around the county, other water utility providers around the county who have
Yes.
contracted with private developers and homeowners and whatnot that says if you get your water from our city, even
Right.
though you're in unincorporated, at some point in time, does this language appear in those contracts also? Where a homeowner may not even know that they have signed something like this, or they have, when they're getting their water from a utility company and they're in an unincorporated area, they may not even know that something like that clause even exists in their contract.
And I would probably defer to the county attorneys also in terms of the notification provided when, when these annexations are done, what happens next after, when they do, sell the property, or I don't know what happens after that, but I do know that there's some agreements that do exist that's out there.
We have an attorney here who's eager to speak. Go right ahead and
Eager,
give us your
yes.
opinion.
I don't know if there are any other utility providers that have such language in their agreements. That's something I'd have to research to find out and get back to you on.
Okay.
If I may, Palm Springs and Delray Beach do this. There is a technique that used to be more popular about 20 years ago where They would, particularly Palm Springs, would extend the water and sewer down a street, and then as part of the sign-up for the utility, they would make those properties annex. That they would have that, I don't know if it's the exact same wording. This, I did annexations from 2000 to 2006, and that was a technique that was popular back in the day, so.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other questions for staff or the attorney on these issues? Very good. Seeing none, thank you so much for the presentation. Zoning Director.
No comment.
Good to see you, Lisa. Executive Director.
No comment, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Carroll. Deputy County Administrator.
No comments.
Very good. Good to see you here. Now we're going to go with our commissioners. We're going to start with you, Commissioner Baxter.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one, I would like to propose a renaming of 60th Street North and its extension only from Seminole Pratt Whitney Road West to 170th Avenue North for Honor Lane.
For what? Say it again.
To name it Honor Lane.
Honor Lane.
Correct.
Very nice.
I promise I
Okay.
didn't come up with that wording on my own.
That's great. Could you give us a little bit of background and then we'll vote on it?
There's a house that wants to face a different direction, and the direction it wants to face doesn't have a street name.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Sort of a post office thing. Yeah. Yes, Honor Lane. Honor Lane. Honor.
Correct.
Lane, Lane.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions, Commissioner Baxter, before we take a vote? Did you hear what the reason is?
I did hear the reason.
Okay. Very good. All right. Anybody opposed? All for? Have a question. Vice Mayor, go right ahead.
Is it just this one house?
For the whole, yeah.
Ms. Carroll?
No,
There's
it's
an-
for the
there's-
length of the street, the segment of the street, but we didn't, it was not appropriate to rename, like, continue the name of 60th because it would be a duplicate name. So we needed to have a different name. So it is a segment.
What, sorry.
Go
I
ahead,
think the question
Commissioner.
you're asking, is it only affecting one person?
Correct.
No.
Yes. You said there's
No.
only one house
Well, there's
facing-
one house that needs the street name to get their permit and an address assigned so they can get their permit issued.
Oh, okay.
But there are multiple vacant parcels along this segment that
Okay.
will be impacted, and they have been they'll be notified of the street name change.
Given that we did the same thing up north,
Correct.
you know, and you have to ask the neighbors if they're okay with the renaming of the streets. I just want to make sure everybody was on board with that.
Yes.
Could it be Commissioner White's Street?
No.
No, well-
No, I'm sorry. It can be
Sorry,
if
Greg.
you all agree to that.
I think
only-
honor's a good one.
Honor Lane. Okay. Any other questions? This is interesting. Okay, I do think we need a vote on this. Anybody opposed? I guess we should have a second, just to be sure the record is clear. And we have a second by the Vice Mayor. All those for, anybody opposed, see that it passes unanimously, 7-0. Well, anything else, Commissioner Baxter?
No, but thank you, everyone.
Appreciate it. Okay. Senator-elect Commissioner Bernard.
Thank you very much,
Congratulations.
Madam Mayor. It's an honor to request two off-site proclamation, one for Project 12 Men's Health Day, which is on June 27, 2024, and also GBDCEI 10th Anniversary and Giving Day on July 9th, 2024. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Very good. We probably need a second on that, which I have, like Commissioner Weiss. All those for, anybody opposed? See that those proclamations pass unanimously. Commissioner Weiss? No comments, no streets, no, yet? All right.
You want to name the street in
No,
front of
it's
my house? You have to put the city of West Palm on it.
I know what the rule is in West Palm to name streets, so I won't go there. Commissioner Woodward? Nothing at this time. Commissioner Barnett?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. I want to thank again the Board of County Commissioners for authorizing the $1 million for planning and design for the upcoming multicultural center. I can't tell you how much I and the people we've been working with in my district really appreciate the support from the county. Just a few things. I had an opportunity to take a brief trip over the weekend to San Juan to meet some senior leadership of the Puerto Rican USA Chamber of Commerce, who represent a large population of Puerto Ricans on the island, in Florida, in New York, South Carolina, across the country. And we had important discussions about how to boost economic development among the people living here in Palm Beach County, in my district. As you know, I do have a large Puerto Rican population in my district, and Green Acres in particular. We talked about different opportunities that I'll be discussing with the board in more detail in the coming weeks. I also want to thank everyone on the legislative affairs team, in the administration, all of our municipal partners, the ladies in my office, our staff, on the appropriations that the governor approved in his budget signing last week. I know Palm Beach County, as well as most other counties, ended up getting a lot of items vetoed, but through working with the governor's staff, his deputy chief and his chief of staff and others in Tallahassee, we were able to get $1 million appropriated for Palm Beach County Central Historic Infrastructure Project. Palm Springs is sewer force main project, $1 million for that project. Green Acres was looking for $250,000 for its road expansion project, the Chickasaw Road Expansion Project. I know we had people here on Tuesday at the workshop discussing the money that was approved through for 211 helpline, which we've all visited 211 helpline. You know the great work they do, as well as ARC of Palm Beach County. Ms. Pamela Payne was here, thanked us for helping to get that appropriation for, I think, $1.3 million for their school, which helps students, children, adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It's really, I feel really fortunate that Central Palm Beach County was spared the veto pen. I want to thank Governor DeSantis, most importantly, for hearing us down here in Palm Beach County and listening to the folks who were advocating, especially for the $1 million for Palm Beach County's central infrastructure, which I believe had been vetoed the last couple of years. And we finally got that signed. Just wanted to share that good news. I know a lot of other projects, cultural projects in Palm Beach County and around the state were not approved, but we got to take our victories where we can, and I do really appreciate all the work that everyone did to make this happen. That's all I have. Thank you.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Thank you very much, Commissioner Barnett. Vice Mayor Marino.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say thank you to some of my fellow commissioners who called to congratulate me on winning my reelection by acclamation, and I look forward to another 4.5 years at this seat. That's it.
Good.
Thank you very much.
And publicly, congratulations. I'd like to thank the Vice Mayor for pitching for me yesterday, actually on Tuesday. I had the great fortune to get an invitation to the White House in Washington, D.C., which was such an amazing event for me, a little kid from Detroit, to see the White House and to be part of the presidential announcement on DACA, which is an issue I worked on extensively when I was in the Senate, and that is to help their dreamers go attend America's schools and our colleges, and then to receive a offer of employment from a U.S. employer. It's not a pathway to citizenship, but it is a way to inspire young people to become part of our American fabric and to strengthen our economy. We have 126,000 Dreamers in the state of Florida, and they've paid over $30 million since 2012 in federal and local state taxes. So I was very proud to be part of that group, and very proud to represent Palm Beach County in that announcement by the president. So thank you. Commissioner Barnett.
Thank you for sharing that, Mayor. I almost forgot to wish Laura Henley a very happy birthday today. I didn't ask her age. I know that would be rude to do so, but I just wanted to say happy birthday, Laura.
Good thing you remembered that.
I almost forgot.
Good thing you remembered. All right, if there is no other business before the board at this time, we are officially adjourned. Everybody have a safe weekend. Thank you.